Hi Sumi, welcome to our podcast and thanks for being our guest for the day.
Yeah, hi Shiva.
Yeah, and I hope your journey as an entrepreneur is going fabulous. And something very unique about your business, when I had come down to your boutique last year for a shoot, I was completely mesmerized with the kind of structure that you have put into place. And today, when I start this podcast, I was like, I should bring you in and see what value can you add to this conversation. So, Yuti Designer Blouse, do you think it's a growing profession or growing category in this business of fashion and lifestyle, or a business which is already well established but nobody's talking about it? What is your perspective?
So, designer blouse is, if you ask me whether it's a well established business going unrecognized, I would say it is more of a very disorganized business which I'm trying to organize. So, anything disorganized, I don't think it can go far. So,
Right.
for anything to go further ahead, I think we have to organize and put it place and give it a proper structure. And
Right.
that is what Yuti is doing with the designer blouse business.
Right. So one of the aspects that I always wanted to ask you is that today, if somebody wants to become an entrepreneur in the field of fashion and lifestyle as such, they try to run a show with majority of SQAs. For example, they would be having as a designer, they would try to design outfits for a lot of people.
Okay.
It could be the men's wear, it could be dealing into fabric, or it could be women's wear, all together as a hub.
Okay.
You have exclusively chose this category
Okay.
of designer blouses exclusively. So what was your inspiration to start
Okay.
this as a category of business? What was your idea, and how did your mind work during the inception of this?
Okay. So, the mind work, as you rightly mentioned. So, my mind works in a very simpler way, I suppose. So, when I started, Yuti Designer Blouse was not Yuti Designer Blouse, it was Yuti Designer House, like how everybody is doing. I started with doing everything. I used to do blouses, sarees, lehengas, and anarkalis, and whatever outfit, Western, Indian, anything and everything that is possible to stitch and embroider. I was doing that. But after 1 or 2 years into it, I realized that was too complicated for my mind to handle, and I wanted to simplify it to the most simplest form, which is just one thing I can focus on.
Okay.
I think I am made that way where I wanted to concentrate on one particular thing to make it bigger or to even organize it in a better way.
Okay.
And when I wanted to focus on one thing, what other than a blouse, which is most worn here in our place, I thought, okay, let me narrow it down to the blouse and do only the blouse.
Okay, so it started as a hub for all, and then
Yes,
you
yes,
narrowed it down to one particular
yes,
category, which was
yes,
this.
yes.
And I mean, what would be that one point which made you decide this, that I would like to go with exclusive designer blouses? Was it the market was reacting better to this particular category, or was it the challenges here are less in comparison to challenges with other material or maybe other type of outfits that is available in the market, or maybe because of competition? What was that one factor which made you decide this category?
Oh, is there any one factor at all? I think there are many, but one to say, no, the market was not reacting well to it. So
Okay.
when I narrowed it down to Yuti Designer Blouse, everybody was quite skeptical. They wanted me to, think it and not go ahead with this, because I am removing all the possible business potential that I might get and replacing it with one product, which is a very small product.
Right.
And the market was not reacting well to it when I started, because embroidery was something not very familiar to the Chennai people or to the South Indian at all. Embroidery was more popular in northern part of India, but not the southern part of India, and the southern people were very conservative.
Right.
And when I was starting Yuti, they did not they were not able to accept that I want them to spend so much on just an embroidery, because they
Right.
didn't know what an embroidery is.
Right.
So it was very difficult to even put a price tag to the embroidered blouse, because they will feel it is too high. Even 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees would be too high for people to accept. Why should I spend so much on a blouse?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was quite difficult, but somehow it was very beautiful, and I didn't want to miss the beauty, and I thought I should somehow work on it and take it to people and make them understand the beauty of it.
Right. But how did you structure the business? Because while I was doing some research on your business also, I did not find many players from where you can decide, okay, I can do something like this, or I can put these points as my threshold and revolve around it. I don't think there exists any exclusive brand which is completely into this, as far as I could understand. Because if I take renowned brands which are operating at pan India level, exclusive blouses is one of the categories, not as
Yes.
one prime category that they hold. So in such circumstances where market has never tried something like this, and you are the first, probably the first one to try, I believe there are a lot of freelancers who might be doing this, but as a full-fledged business organization, what was the thinking? How did you arrive, okay, this has to be my benchmark, or this has to be my price points,
Yeah.
or how did the supply chain work? How did you generate that?
Sari is a bigger market,
Right.
and there are very bigger players in the sari
Correct,
business, right?
correct.
One thing I can, sari is already established, and I don't have to work on establishing the business as such. I can get the benefit of that business by doing something complementary to it,
Correct.
right? And blouse was something that anybody who buys a sari will always stitch a blouse. And I thought I don't have to work on building any product or market around it, because there's already a market. All I have to do is just utilize the market by providing something complementary to it,
Right.
where I don't have to put much money in advertising the product at all, because something that requires this product is already being marketed
Correct.
or advertised enough. All I have to do is just utilize it, and this blouse is not just utilizing, it is also complementing.
Right.
So I got associated with the silk sari showrooms in Chennai, and they were very helpful, and their customers, I was designing for all the customers who was buying from the showrooms, and I was designing the blouses for them. So I didn't have to go and fish for the customers anywhere, because I was in the place where the customers are buying the product.
Right.
So I think that is how
So one of the things when it comes to my mind, were you targeting people, I mean customers who are not seeing the price tag, or were you trying to build a market among the customers who are more prone to seeing the price tag and buying a product? Who were you catering to in initial days of your journey as an entrepreneur in this?
I just had in mind embroidery is nice.
Okay.
It looks beautiful.
Okay.
Sari is nice. It looks beautiful. It will look even prettier with an embroidered blouse than with a normal plain cotton blouse, which was the case back then. Anybody, even a bride, would wear a very simple plain blouse or a simple 2x2 cotton blouse was the case. And my mothers and even me, we were all wearing that. But I thought this would complement that better. And when you give the option to people, I think people will come and avail it. All you have to do is create something that people are ready to buy, and they will come and buy it.
Okay. Okay.
So I created something that will complement something that already they like a sari. They invest so much on a sari. And of course, they will want something better to complement the sari with, because blouse is something that will create an identity to the person.
Right. Like they say, any business in today's time you start, it does take 5 years to analyze where you're standing,
Yes.
whether to decide success or a failure. You need to give
Yes,
your 5 years.
absolutely.
But when you start, you don't know what's coming onto your plates.
Yeah.
You don't know what are the challenges that you're going to face. So you're either going with full knowledge, maybe, or going with no knowledge. But I
Yeah.
always prefer going with no knowledge is much
Is
better.
much better,
Because you don't know what's coming onto your place, so you just face it as
Yes,
and when you
yes.
go. So how did it start? Did it start with a very small setup, and then eventually it reached where it is today?
Yes, that's true. So with no knowledge, yes, no knowledge. I would say that actually benefited me because I was open enough to grab all the ideas I could get.
Right.
I was not very narrow-minded, like with a certain formula, where I couldn't experiment with any other possibilities. I was open enough, and if you ask me whether I was clear enough, no, I was not clear enough. I always had these confusions, and till COVID, I remember even during COVID, I had this. I used to always carry this diary with me where I keep writing things.
Okay.
In that, I have written whether to shut Yuti or to run Yuti, the pros and cons of continuing and dropping.
Okay.
So this is a scenario which I work because, but finally, yeah, the continuing Yuti won, and that was the turning point. I chose to continue doing it.
So you're saying the COVID phase was the turning point?
Yes, absolutely.
How did that work? Do you think
Because
digital media boomed and because of which people started consuming more content? And that brings to another question: how did digital media shape up your brand today?
Huh. So COVID, yes, it did help a lot because before COVID it was more of surviving in the business, and post COVID it helped me thrive in it. So it was quite a positive uh, transformation before and after COVID. And rightly said, I think digital media of course helped. I think there was a boom in digital media
Correct.
post COVID,
Yeah.
and that is when people started noticing Yuti as a brand, and they started coming to us just for because it is Yuti, right? They wanted to come and get it done with us for the designs and for the delivery that we were doing. With the delivery in 2 days is our USP. So they started noticing that USP only post COVID, but we were doing that delivery in 2 days for many years, even before that.
An entrepreneur, I always believe that we have to be good with many things. Almost all of it, we should be having some kind of knowledge on it. But when it comes to you, I would like to understand with respect to the business that you're in. What was that one main point which you said, this is my cup of tea, this is my talent, and nobody can replace this?
Oh.
So, for example, it could be design, it could be the creative aspects that are giving to the blouses, or something standout which you thought as an entrepreneur in this particular category that it would fly. What did you notice that other brands fail to notice?
As a person, as an entrepreneur and as a person, one good thing or one very nice thing I've noticed in myself is I have this very simple mind as a person. I don't know to complicate things.
Okay.
It's a very it's like one line. My mind is very simple, and whatever I start with, I try to simplify it to the most possible simplest form. I think that is one thing I have not noticed in anybody else, around me at least. And as a business, the delivery in 2 days, because by the time this picked up post-COVID, there were so many boutiques, and now I think every street has a
Yeah, absolutely.
designer
Every
blouse,
street has
every
got,
street
yeah,
has a tailor, every
yeah,
street has an embroider.
right.
And I wanted to and it's not about just the embroidery. One, the delivery in 2 days. Two, we follow certain processes to get that delivery in 2 days.
Right.
I think both are the things that anybody can copy our designs. Anybody can copy the name,
The pattern and everything.
yeah, whatever is superficially seen, they can copy. But there's something deep down which adds as a core value to Yuti. I think that is what is making us.
So you're saying the process has played a very important
Yes,
role in
absolutely.
shaping up what it is today,
Yes.
right? So obviously in the last few years you might have come across different customers with multiple asks that I want this, I want that. Definitely it's a very stressful business, to be honest, because you need to just not manage the store but the people in the background also. One of the factors which I have learned from other people who are running boutiques and everything is the labor who are involved in the process, they sometimes, like you said, it's a very not organized market. How are you able to balance? And when you say deliver in 2 days, it's a commitment that you're giving.
Yes.
Sometimes things can go the other way also.
Yes, yes.
And I believe that is your tagline, that delivering in 2 days, irrespective of whatever the requirements are. So how you're able to manage, maintain, and still run. And it's not just like one order or something. You must be having a lot of
Yes,
orders on
yes,
daily
yes.
basis. So let's say somebody is placing an order. I mean, today's order are like 25. So you, day after tomorrow, you might have to deliver all these 25. So having a tagline is very easy, but living up to it is a task.
Yes, yes.
So how did you foresee the circumstances that what if there would be a time, for example, I'm in a position where I can only generate 15 orders per day, but now when I have 30, how did you gauge the situation? How did you manage?
I think that is the magic of Yuti, and
Okay.
that is what we've been doing all these years, right? So people always ask this question: How do you manage? How do you deliver? Even from other boutiques, they ask us, "How do you really do it?" We used to get a lot of calls earlier when we started doing this. Akka, do you really delivery? Do you do a delivery in 2 days, or is it chumma for the video you're doing?
Right.
They were quite surprised because while everybody were taking 1 month, 2 months minimum, and we were saying we would deliver in 2 days, we customize and deliver in 2 days, and that too, all the heavy blouses we deliver in 2 days. People couldn't believe. They thought it was a scam. But we still managed to do it. Only when we started doing it, and only when we were, people started acknowledging it when they saw the product in hand. There were many surprise brides who would say, I thought I really wouldn't get it. I thought you
Okay.
will somehow call me the last minute and say, sorry, I am not able to do it. But I'm quite surprised. I'm seeing the blouse now in my hand. So that is the magic. If whatever possible scenarios you think could go around in making the delivery in 2 days possible, everything will happen.
So you're saying it was more or less like a trial and error, and the ones which succeeded is what you finalize. Okay, this is what I have to go ahead with.
No, there is no trial and error in this. We figured out, okay, so when we're doing the blouses, we didn't really know delivery in 2 days was possible.
Okay.
But when we were associated with all the silk saree showrooms, we used to get a lot of NRIs who come for shopping in a week's time, and
Right.
they get the blouses done. And I was surprised to see there were so many people who come in just for shopping to Chennai and get the sarees, and they just travel back. And we were pushed to do it. We were pushed in a way where we were not able to say no to the clients, and we thought, okay, let us give it a try. If it is not possible, then I'm not doing it. Maximum 10 days is the time that I can commit,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
But then, like that, when we started pushing and pushing and pushing, we found and we realized that delivery in 2 days was possible.
It's possible.
Yes.
Just needed some kind of proper setup in
Yes,
place to make
exactly.
it work.
And that is
Interesting.
how we started, keeping that as delivery in 2 days possible. Let us do it.
Right.
And that became our USP.
Okay. So another question that I wanted to ask, if I have to segregate the walking customers, the digital media, how much business is split, if you can give me an idea? For example, 30% I'm receiving through digital, 70% are walking. Do you have this kind of analysis
Yes,
which
we
you are
do.
doing?
We do. So digital media plays a huge role in business like ours.
Right.
And especially it's a small time small time business where we're not resourceful enough to spend so much on advertisement and marketing, where we can't run a huge marketing campaign
Correct.
where we are visible to so many people. But when it comes to digital media, it just goes right into the palm of another woman, where we can just grab that person's attention for a couple of seconds.
Right.
Even that couple of seconds, we strive so hard to create videos and contents and make the blouse look beautiful as it is in a video, right? To bring out exact the look and feel of it, and make them place an order with us. So that I think the attention span, the reduction of attention span as well helped us.
So digital media is playing an important
Yes, yes, yes.
role today in your business.
Yes, yes, because
And
we're not spending as huge as what any big business would do for
correct,
marketing
correct.
campaigns, right? Our investment for marketing is way lesser compared to the bigger
Bigger
brands.
brands.
Yes, so
Yeah.
digital media has its
Has played an important
prominent
role.
role in this.
Right. As we are discussing about the importance of digital marketing in a homegrown business like yours, digital marketing today has evolved, if you ask me. First, we run ads. Now we also have influencer marketing, and I think UT Designer Blouses are doing it. So, how much has influencer marketing benefited the brand in terms of brand recall and in terms of brand awareness?
So, influencer marketing is both in terms of brand recall and awareness. It people are able to connect to the influencer because they feel it's that person is a replica of them, right? They don't see that person as some celebrity who is
Or an
not
outsider,
reachable, or
yeah.
an outsider who is totally not connected to them. They feel the influencers are a part of them, and they feel very connected to whatever is happening in their lives and whatever purchases they make, and whatever lifestyle they follow. The people feel very connected and close to that, and I think that has a huge impact. And using the right influencer and picking uh, what kind of influencer is going to complement your business and what kind of influencer is not okay for the business. Just getting it viral is not the not point.
Criteria, yeah.
Yeah, to take the brand viral, there are so many ways, but that
Right.
doesn't necessarily mean it is going to bring you business. I think we have to be wise enough to pick the right influencer who is going to complement your the target audience who are going to come and buy your product, right? Yes, I think we have to be wise enough to even if it's a brand recall or brand awareness, we have to be make a wise call in choosing the right
The
person to
right
do it.
people and
Yeah,
right type
yeah,
of
yeah.
influencer to promote your brand.
Yes, yes.
That's interesting. So you're not focused more on creating viral content, but
Never.
more focused on creating a quality content, which
Yes.
will add a lot of value to brand
Yes.
awareness as well
Yes.
as perception of brand.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
So, whoever the influencer is, I should be able to say, yes, I'm connecting my blouse to this person. I can see what the brand that I'm trying to connect, brand I'm trying to create, and the person I'm connecting with,
Has to all be in
has,
sync
yes,
to
yes,
make it
are in
work.
sync to make it
Right.
work. Yes.
One of the studies that I have had done recently is the increase in sales when it comes to such businesses from tier 2 and tier 3 cities, right? Usually, when we start a business, we try to first focus on the region
Yes.
where we are. And then we try to move on to the next best options or
Yes.
try to establish ourselves in other states or something. But since the time digital media has evolved, the acceptance of such
Yes.
homegrown brands
Yes. Yes.
has come significantly from tier 2 and tier 3 cities. In your case, how do you see this?
Um,
Like, if I have to make it even more better for you, let's say you get a call from the cities like Salem, Erode, Nagarkol,
yes.
Kanyakumari,
Yes.
saying that we saw your ad or saying we came across your ad on social media and they were wanting to learn more about your brand, or maybe they would have placed an instant order also. So, do you see that happening in your business also when it
Yes, it
comes
does.
to?
It does. We get a lot of calls from the rest of Tamil Nadu, right?
Right.
There are so many places which I didn't know when I started the business. I didn't know people would come from down south and place an order in Chennai just over a phone call. So I was quite surprised with so many turn of events when throughout the evolution of digital media.
Right.
It has transformed the process which helps people pick a particular product. The trust factor, the familiarity. Even one person in the neighborhood chooses a brand, the other person starts to get the confidence. Okay,
Right.
I can choose that as well.
So, do you think word of mouth has also played
Yes,
a
yes,
very
absolutely.
important role in
Yes,
this?
absolutely. So
Right.
digital media and word of mouth, influencer marketing, I think it all merges together in
Together to
yes.
create a brand value. I believe there are two types of audience that usually come on social media or otherwise also. There are two buyers. One buyer is like, if I just see this advertisement, even if it's a good advertisement where aesthetics are good and it's very convincing, I would like to give a chance.
Okay.
And there's another set of buyers who would be like, no, whatever said and done, if I visit, experiment myself, try myself, and then I place an order, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure in your business also, because you're doing sales online through website or through Instagram or whatever other sources of online platforms that you may have, do you come across this kind of audience, and how did you convince, I mean, what is your convincing strategy for people online to just go by the aesthetics that you're portraying rather than coming all the way to the boutique and trying? What is the significance behind it?
So, see, only thing that holds back a person from placing an order from a place remotely is the trust. What if I place an order from a different location, and what if the product is not delivered on time, or what if the committed product itself is not delivered? What if my money is lost? What if the quality is not up to the mark? These are the things that people have in mind, and
Right.
these are the things that always holds them back from placing an order. It is not
Right.
about what they see, they might like, but to go ahead and make the purchase, the trust and familiarity plays a huge role. And the way we talk as a team, or as when I used to handle the customer, when the way I am talking and the way my team is talking to the customer, we make sure and we ensure that the customer feels that they have come to the
Yeah.
right place, and we are going to deliver what we are going to
And how do you take care of the fittings? Because when it's online, probably the concerned person must be giving the measurement. Sometimes it may go, sometimes may not go. So, how do you decide whether the fitting is going to be apt?
Yeah, so we take the measurement, we get the measurement from the customer, and we go on a video call.
Okay.
We see them in person, not in person, through the video,
Yeah.
and we'll cross check with the measurement. So wherever we feel, okay, this might be wrong, so we have good team with us who are well aware of what they are doing, and they can read the measurement and see the person, and they can also judge if the measurement is way too wrong. They can say, ma'am, this is too wrong. Can you please take it again and send to us, right? So these are the points that we follow to make sure the measurements are not too deviated,
Okay.
right? Even a slight deviation is fine, that wouldn't be a problem. Half an
Okay.
inch, 1 inch is okay, but way too deviated, I think we should be able to
So
identify.
is it something, say for example, if there is like you said, half-inch deviation that happens, it would be made in a way where the tailor out there in their own place could be able to figure out a way and try to make it work?
Not really, because this has embroidery
Exactly.
on it. The customer will also be not very comfortable in giving a blouse to a tailor nearby.
And yeah.
They feel the blouse is not in safer hands. They feel when it goes from us, it is always safer with us than giving it to some other person. What if he damages, or
Right.
what if it's not taken care of properly? So most of the deviations, if at all there is much, will be sent back to us, and we will do it and we will send back to the customer.
Okay, so there is a kind of loss of monetary if there's a deviation that may happen, or if
Yes.
there's a fitting problem.
Yes, yes.
So that is one challenge that you might be facing on a regular
Yes.
basis.
Not on regular basis.
At
See, that
times.
happens, yes, at times. And that happens. We cannot avoid that.
Yeah.
Yes. And only thing is, we should be able to accommodate that. We cannot have too many rules, and we cannot, just draw a line and work on that. We should
Completely.
be flexible enough to
Yeah.
accommodate that. And I think our customers are also flexible enough to accommodate that as well.
Great. And what is the role of international audience that your Instagram page holds in terms of business? Like, do you receive a lot of international orders as well? If yes, what would be the percentage of it? This is just to gauge the power of digital media for a homegrown business
Okay.
and how it has reached beyond the boundaries of a country. And sitting right here in Chennai, if you are able to do it, that's very great. But just for our audience, I just wanted to understand what is the role of international audience, because I believe most of them would be HNIs and very picky. and too choosy. I would like to put it down that way. So how do you tackle people from overseas?
So I think no, I think overseas customers are not too picky.
Okay,
Yes,
that's something new which I'm
yes,
hearing, which
yes,
is good.
yes.
Yeah.
They are very clear with what they want.
Okay.
Whenever we get an NRI or a customer from abroad, uh, we will always be surprised with the preparation that goes behind it, because they will send us a document. I want this, 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 and they will all the requirements will be listed, properly documented, with the screenshots attached, with the images shared to us, with the patterns. Everything will be properly documented, right?
Right.
Most of the abroad customers are like that, and we as a team, we've always made sure that we present ourselves in a very professional way, and even while handling the NRIs, HNIs, we make sure that everything is taken care of and everything is communicated, even though through a phone call, everything is communicated and discussed with so much patience. I think that is one thing that we've always maintained with anybody, not only over the phone call, even with the person who come and
Right.
directly place the order. So me and my team, we've learnt it and we follow it, is we always apologize and we correct. So this is one thing that we constantly follow till date. So whenever there is a mistake happening and we are notified of it, we apologize. We don't defend ourselves saying no, 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 no. That never happens at all. We say sorry, and next time we make sure that it does not happen again. And we continue to work on it, and we continue to stand by it as well. And there are criticisms which need not be real, which could be fake as well, because Google reviews
Yeah,
just
yeah. It works both ways.
yeah, yeah. So that happens as well, and that is something that cannot be avoided. It has to. That is how a business is run. We have to.
Like everybody has a perspective of their own competition, right, where they are standing. Uh, I wanted to understand how do you handle this kind of competition, because the market is very fierce. It is, in a way, the circumstances are such that it is rude also, and sometimes for few it is not in their favor because of maybe say some other person giving a better scope of service and everything. So how do you handle the stress of competition? So this comes to one of the important mental state of mind for an entrepreneur, where when you go to sleep, are you worried that what may happen tomorrow?
No. So I think over the time I have learned to embrace that. The challenges that you're saying, I think I have learned to embrace in a very good way. Because the earlier days, yes, I used to be very stressed, I used to be very worried. Now I feel that is how a business will be, and I'm embracing that as whatever comes, I'm embracing that, be it the employees, challenge from them, be it the laborers, and be it the customers, be it the competitors. I think I've learned to embrace it, and I don't find that as a disturbance. I find that as that is how it is.
That is how it is. You have
Yes.
come in terms with it.
I cannot run away from that. I can only walk through it.
Say for example, you see a competitor. Let's say there was a client who has gone there, has made a purchase. Do you analyze where we went wrong, and do you try to maybe understand that this could have been better, or let me try to bring this in my favor also? Or do you like this is his style of work or her style of work and this is my style of work? You try to just ignore that. As an entrepreneur's mindset, how do you see this?
So both ways work. One is I can take it. I can take it in two ways. One is the kind of audience that goes to the other person.
Right.
That is the customer. Another one is my kind of customer going to another designer, right? So when I feel that is not the kind of customer that I'm serving for, I think I will have to take a step back and accept, no, this is not what I'm catering for, right? And but when I feel that is the kind of customer I'm catering for, but somehow they left dissatisfied, then I will have to work on it. I will definitely stalk the customer on the social media with the makeup artist photos and videos,
Right.
and find where they've done the blouse, and then our team will sit and have a discussion about why the customer left, what exactly happened. We will enact on what happened, and we
So
will.
there's definitely back of the mind there is a
Yes, yes.
thought process which goes that I went wrong here, I should have done better.
Absolutely, and that will, of course, help us do improve things in a good way, and we keep doing that.
That is
It is
very
not about
nice
just
to.
letting go and sulking about it. It is more about letting go and working on it. So I think we are keen on working on it than sulking about it.
When it comes to your personal life, they say that entrepreneur's journey is always a lone man's journey, right? And having said that, though we may have family, friends, and everybody around, this journey is always for you. There's nobody around who could understand what you're going through, or they may not be able to relate because they don't come from this field.
Yes.
So how do you maintain your work-life balance, especially from a mental perspective?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things that can go behind your smiling face. So I just wanted to understand that.
Yeah. See, I always feel work-life balance is a myth.
Okay.
I don't think that exists anywhere in the world, at least not in my world.
Okay.
If you ask me when I'm working, I don't think of what is happening back home. I do. When I'm home, do I not think of what is happening back at work? I do. So there's no work-life balance. It's work and life is together.
Okay.
And I don't think I can split and look at those two in two different ways. Both are together for me. If you say if I'm coming to work and my mind would sometimes keep thinking, has my maid done the dishes properly? Has my kid come back from school? Has she had her food? And is she writing? Is she reading? All these are always on the back of my mind. And when
Right.
I'm home, I will still be.
You will
okay,
be thinking
yes,
about
is
work,
the-
so
is
it
the
goes
gar-
vice versa.
Yes, yes. So I
Okay.
don't think the work life. There's anything called work-life balance. I think the
So you're
life and work
always
gets
round the clock
merged.
working, or either.
Round the clock. Yes,
Yeah.
I think it's just merged into one. And
So how do you, put yourself into rest mode?
I do. So rest mode is something that I deliberately put myself into, and that is something that I have practiced doing. I deliberately take and switch off. Not only myself, I switch off my phones. I go offline, and I definitely need that time
Right.
off from work and from home as well.
Home as well, yeah.
Yes. So only then I will even recharge myself into again going back to that person I was.
So today, at this point of time, when you look back to your journey that you've had, what do you think? What is that feeling of that nostalgic moment?
I feel grateful. I feel happy. Success is something I don't know how to measure success. So I'm not getting to measuring success at all. But how do I feel? I feel nice and happy about the journey as such. Whether it is the high, whether it is a low, or whether it is a mix of both, whatever kind of emotions I've gone through, I think I'm here embracing it all, and that has made me and shaped me into a person who I am now. And I feel. One good thing I always tell about myself is I keep evolving. Every month or every 6 months, I think I become a completely different person.
Okay. This is on personal level or on professional level?
Both. Yes,
Okay.
yes. So if you ask me if Yuti was the same 2 years back, no, it is not. If Yuti was the same 6 months back, no, it is not. I think we keep evolving, and if we don't evolve.
Then there's no point,
Yeah,
is
there's
what
no
you're
point.
saying.
Even as a person
Absolutely.
as such.
Yeah.
I believe in evolving as a person. I think we should make the effort to grow into a better person.
Right.
The day we stop, I think, what more to it?
When you started, there were a lot of no's. I mean, initial conversation you said, few people were like, no, let's not do it. Obviously, when we start something, now we have the startup culture. We have a lot of people who come as an investor. Back then it was like a no
Yeah.
man's land. You get into it, if it works, it works. So when we start something, a lot of people who are not even connected to us will come and give us advice,
Yes.
right? And most of them would be like, maybe you should just wait and watch and then start. Maybe you should do this and then get into the business. Then they'll be like, business is not easy. When they see you today, I'm pretty sure when I'm asking this question, you must be getting 3, 4 faces in mind already.
Yeah.
Is there any inspiration that you took during the start of your journey on a personal level? Like few people read books, few people see videos and get inspired. Few people have their own, maybe parents as their influencers or maybe some inspirational figure. In your case, how do you see that? Who was that person who you always looked up to?
Okay. Um, so I am still searching for my mentor.
Okay.
I think that search will keep going. I think finding a mentor is like finding your soulmate. It's a never-ending journey,
Okay.
right? And I get my mentorship and advices from the books I read.
Right.
And I read a lot, and I grab everything that I get out of the book. Whatever simple task that I'm up to, I think I get the advice from the books that I'm reading. And anybody and everybody I'm talking to, I think I grab, absorb as much as I can from people. And yes, I think I will keep doing that. And
So you're planning to continue
yes, yes.
and take
See,
inspiration from different sources.
yes, knowledge
Yeah.
is out there with everybody, and
There's something to learn from everybody.
exactly. And
Right.
if we are not open enough to absorb things, where will we learn?
Correct.
So it's not that we are born with all the knowledge in the world.
What would be the ideal way to judge your own progress? Because at the end of the day, you have to sit with yourself and you have to make a certain progress. So, what are your key aspects that determines, okay, if I work out this way, these are my key constraints when it comes to my progress, and I have to just be focused on that. What are your aspects on that?
So whenever this topic runs in my head, I always wonder, am I doing this because I like to do it? Am I doing this because I like to move forward? And I like to work on this and take Yuti to a different level? Or am I doing this because somebody has said something about it? Right? And my question was always answered with, I like to do it, and I should do it only if I like to do it. Only if I am motivated in a very personal and a very positive way. I wouldn't do a thing which stresses me, or I don't call that as a motivation. Like how we say it's body shaming when somebody comments on the body, right? Like that, it is more or less like that. We don't say that as a motivation. I don't think that is healthy to consider that as a motivating factor. It is quite a stressful factor because we have enough stresses to handle, and I
Correct.
wouldn't add that to one of the stress. No.
Okay. Your motivation is a good product or a good feedback by a customer on that good product.
So a customer pays me money to do a good product, and I have the commitment to give the customer back a good product. And that is a commitment I give, and that is a value, respect I give to my own product.
Right.
So if you ask me whether it is this or that, I think it has to be both. The respect that I carry for the business I do, and the commitment that I give towards a customer who trusts me.
Because
it has to be both.
Yeah, of course. But one factor what I wanted to ask you here is, at times the perception of people vary. What may look good in your eyes may not look good in the opposite person's eyes. And it always goes in
Yes.
this business.
Yes.
Not just this, anybody.
Yes.
If I'm going to a restaurant, I might find this food to be good enough, but rest of the family members may not.
Yes.
So then, what is your source of happiness in these circumstances?
So when a customer says, I don't like the blouse that you've made, I will say, okay, I will redo it again in a way that you like it. And I think as a team as such, we follow this.
Okay.
We cannot argue and go and tell the customer, no, you have to like this because it's good. No, it is their choice. They have paid the money for something that they want to customize in their own, to their own liking. I cannot go and convince them saying, no, this you have to like. No, that I wouldn't do, or anybody from
So
my...
till the time the customer gets satisfied with the product, you guys are on repeat mode.
Yes, I think the end is to satisfy or give a product to the customer in a way they will like it, right? And in Yuti, we have made sure the customer understands that we don't work that way. We clearly say that we don't take abuses, we don't accept any kind of disrespect towards the brand or towards the team, and we stand by it.
Okay.
There are times, yes, where customers have crossed that line where, they get down to abusing the team, and we make sure that we take a stand and say, you have to apologize. And whatever be the reason, nobody gets the right to abuse the other person, right? You are the customer and we are here to do the service. And we are doing the service for you. You are paying for the service. Right?
Correct.
So we demand the respect.
So you mean to say there are people who are abusive even in this segment of business?
I think there are customers who are abusing in all segments, and it all depends on to what extent we take the abuse.
Right.
I think we as a business should make sure and draw a line.
Correct. So there are prerequisites which are already set.
Yes,
That beyond this, we will not tolerate.
Yes, yes.
And do you think it is very important for any organization to have that limit set?
Yes, absolutely. I think that limit is not being set in many organizations in our country.
Yes.
Whereas if you cross India, if you look at any country outside India, I don't think this is tolerated this much. Here we have this very traditional, I wouldn't say traditional, preset mind where we assume this is how the business has to be run, or this is the only way a business can flourish. But no, that need not be the only way a business has to flourish.
Right.
There are more healthier ways, and we have to create that healthier environment for the people to work in and for the customers to come and place.
Do you think it's a very dicey situation when something like this pops up? Because the customer, like I said, is always a king. He has got like more access to be negative on all aspects of internet, and they may be putting it as story or WhatsApp status.
Yes.
Have you been a victim of this?
Yes, of course. There are so many times where customers would threaten saying, if you don't do this, though I asked you for a different one, now I'm asking for a different one. If you don't do this, I will go post negative reviews on Google, or I will go post it on social media. I will, tarnish your name. All that happens, and we take that as an experience.
Fair enough. Especially in this industry, more than the brand name, the individual's name is highly branded. For example, we have Manish Malhotra, right? Sabyasachi. These people, I personally believe there's a pull crowd and push crowd when it comes to any product selling.
Yes.
Including movies for that matter.
Yes.
So when it comes to fashion industry, these two are, as far as I know, the
Very
biggest
prominent
names, very, very popular names. And in fact, even on the international arena, these are the two renowned names that I know.
Yes.
What do you think even today people are mad about it? Because when I talk to a lot of my friends who are female, they are like, their wedding dress has to be from Manish Malhotra.
Okay.
Their wedding outfit has to be from Sabyasachi. This is what they have in a fairy tale wedding, fairy tale dress, and like that. What is your opinion on such fashion giants that they have? What have they done? I think you would know better because you're from that industry, and both of them are also dealing in the traditional attires also.
Yes.
And they are having a crowd which is like a cream layer and a premium crowd. Now, any common man cannot go and afford Manish Malhotra's outfit, right? So, what do you think their business strategy is, and how do you like perceive them?
So, see, in this I would ask a question. The product that we use defines more of the person we are, right? It it is more of a status symbol. Say, be it Apple, be it Louis Vuitton, be it whatever accessory you carry, that defines you as a person, right? Getting a dress designed by Sabyasachi or a Manish Malhotra, more than that, they relate more to the brand, right? And I think that is how they want to be represented.
So, do you think creating an aspiration is a good strategy? And that brings me to another ask, is that deep down in your mind and in your heart, do you also want to build that aspiration that as a common man or somebody, let's say if there's an event in my family, my friends or female friends who are like, if it comes to designer blouses, I would like to have it from Yuti. Do you want to build that aspirational value, or you're like, no, I am good with what strategy it is. I want to be open to all sorts of crowd and people from different walks of life. What is your opinion on that? How healthy it is to pursue? That brings, I wanted to ask you this also because.
See, as an entrepreneur, I'm quite greedy about it. And I've always wanted Yuti to be very synonymous to blouses.
Okay.
Say, if anybody thinks of a blouse, they should. Yuti should be the name that comes synonymous to blouse. This is what I've always had in my head. And if you ask me in the health perspective, I would say from a greed perspective.
Because once you create an aspiration, then the marketing towards it can go a bit down. Because now you know that you are already having a brand and it's a brand which people are aspiring for, you will automatically go for it. Like today, people may not be standing in queue to buy Vivo or Oppo phones, but for iPhone, there is a queue always.
Yes, yes.
So, and especially when it comes to fashion brands, a thought process of Indians is very different. When it comes to marriages, from where money comes, God only knows. But suddenly, out of nowhere,
Yes,
somebody
yes.
who's living a very middle income life have now started
Yes.
having,
yes.
all these fancy outfits
Yes, yes.
from designer brands and everything. So, do you see that your next level of business has to be in this direction? Or you're like, no, let me work on quantity where I keep expanding my business in different parts of city and be the same perception that I've already created in minds of people.
So, coming to quantity and expansion, I think for Yuti, that is the fair or the justice I am doing. That is the only way forward, right? I cannot keep sitting in one branch and expect the people
Right.
to come and place the order with me. I think I should go to them and be there in their location. An expansion plan, yes, it is there, and I want to spread out not only in Chennai, outside Chennai as well, and
Okay.
I'm already working on it.
Okay.
And coming to the value of a brand, I don't think a brand is just a brand by having a name and doing the marketing. A brand becomes a brand with more that goes behind whatever we are seeing in an ad campaign or a marketing campaign. Right? Say, take Apple. It didn't become
Yeah, it didn't become
Apple
overnight.
just by
Yeah, true story.
So it was a revolution. How it introduced or how it simplified simple device and bringing it into the most simplest form. I think even Sabyasachi, even Manish, I think they're all have done something revolutionary in their market in their own way, right? To become a brand as such. Not everybody becomes a Sabyasachi, not everybody becomes
Correct.
a Manish Malhotra, right?
Correct.
So we cannot just simply put it saying it's just a brand by marketing. No, it is not. A brand never becomes a brand just by marketing. It can maybe pop up, but it cannot survive. For a brand to survive longer, I think we need more than marketing. We need something like a value to the brand.
Right.
And what adds value? The brand defines the value. Each and every brand will have its own value.
What message do you want to give to aspiring entrepreneurs who are trying to come up in this field? Not in like designer blouses, but in general.
In general. So, okay, now I feel coming to the social media, we were talking about all the positive points it had. When coming to a message for aspiring entrepreneurs, I think social media plays a very, very significant role in bringing down their aspirations and
Can you elaborate how?
it shows a very life full of fantasy, and people are always looking at the fantasy and aspiring to be that. There's something behind the fantasy, and people are missing to notice that. People are missing to work for it. They're not putting enough effort to work to get to that point where the fantasy happens, right? Even before the fantasy starts, I think people stop putting the effort.
Just a very unfiltered question. When it comes to the next generation, do you feel that they are lagging behind in terms of hard work efforts, or in terms of how they have to think as a business person? Or maybe like when I started my business in 2015, I had planned the journey here and there 2 years prior to it. So I know where I was going and what my direction is supposed to be. Do you see that vision in the next gen also, or they have got too involved in this materialistic world, controlled and governed by social media, like you said? What do you think about it?
See, that is one very common discussion that pops up among our generation people,
Yeah.
right? Where we always have this, what are the next generation about? I think the same question our parents would have had to.
Correct.
They would have been equally confused as we
Correct.
are. What are these people up to? I think it is going to be that, we will find it really hard to understand the upcoming generation, and only they will know what are the strategies they have towards life, because the way their life has shaped up and the way our life is are way too different things. We have gone and played out on the roads, and now I don't see
Yeah,
any
that's
kids
not
on the roads
happening.
at all. Everybody is hooked on to their devices, so their life is shaping up in a completely different way, and I think their future will also suit to that environment that they are.
Being optimistic versus being practical. Which one do you choose?
So I believe in universe and I believe in manifestation, and that is one very crazy side of my beliefs, magic and manifestation. I think with that in my head, I am trying my best not to give any space for any negative way of looking at things. I would look at things in a positive way, which this is how I would wish for it to be. Let it be that way.
Okay.
If not, okay.
So you are saying it's better to give a try,
Yes,
to be
yes.
optimistic,
Yes.
than to be too practical.
Yes, exactly. Than to
Right.
avoid the situation and not do anything about it, let's give it a try and then see what it
How it
comes.
goes and
Yes,
everything.
yes.
Interesting. So Sumi, I've had a very brilliant conversation with you today, and came across a lot of amazing facts, and great to know your journey in this. Thank you so much for making it.
Thank
And I
you.
hope when this podcast comes out, a lot of people draw inspiration from you and try to learn more about your brand and your journey,
Sure.
and directly follow you on Instagram.
Yes, yes.
And I hope good things for you ahead.
Thank you.
And
Thank
see
you so
you
much.
soon again.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
Thank you.